Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about what do you do, or what does Tech Matter do?
Well, so we do multiple things. I mean, the smallest part of what we do is just try to help grow tech for good, right? So I have a podcast where I interview nonprofit leaders and talk about the products that they've built. We've gotten up to 27 episodes, so we're actually we're yeah no kind of on our way.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I wrote a book where I talk about 60 different nonprofits that are using technology for big impact. We have something called my Karma Consulting. Karma because it's free, but you only get a free hour. But every week I do 3 to 5 conversations with non-technical nonprofit leaders who are out looking for tech strategy help, right? And because I'm not selling them anything, I jokingly call it anti-consulting. Hey, you don't need a blockchain. No, you don't need a metaverse play. No one will download that app. You could build a giant database in the sky, but no one will look at it, and what are you really trying to do? And then hopefully I can help them out. And then out of every 500 or 800 of those conversations, I find my next product. So right now we have 2 big product areas. One is the contact center software for helplines, which is, operating all over the world now, live in 20 countries, just helping people take phone calls and texts and supporting them with better tools, all the standard kind of tools that you would have in a contact center, like quick answer macros, doing that kind of thing. And we started with the child helpline movement, but now we've grown into sort of mental health. One of our new biggest customers is Los Angeles Circle, LA Circle, which is their homeless mental health line. So when someone is having mental health problem in LA, send a social worker, don't send a policeman, right? When they're having a mental health episode, because sometimes policemen just shoot mentally ill people and social workers don't. And so the idea is like handle nonviolent homeless people with social workers. And so that's a great example. Then we have our software for what we call the local leaders on the front lines of climate change. So our soil identification software, which is used all over the world. It's used in the United States. It's used in Africa and Latin America. So it's used widely. And we also have an open source version of story mapping. So Esri, which is the maker of all the geospatial software that most big companies and governments use, they have something called story mapping. How you tell a really compelling story using maps or drone imagery and pictures and videos and interviews and text. And so what we did is we made it an open source version that any NGO in the world can use it. And I mean, we have a partner in Guyana and they used it to explain why people should plant more mangroves and less concrete along the coast of Guyana